Hello everyone, I'm Frosty4, and welcome to Frostin's Paradise. And check out this admin header. I love admin headers, so humble right there. But I really hope they bring back admin headers and the pictures and everything that you can put in the description of your server back in Battlefield 4. If they take that out for whatever reason, that'd just be silly. And here, I've got another round of Xanax Gardens recon action, and I don't think I've mentioned why I call it Xanax Gardens. Basically, Zen Crossing, Zen X for short. In my mind, Zen X just made me think of Xanax, so Xanax Gardens, there you go. And I get an LAV because this is like the worst map. Oh, hold on. Hold that thought. Oh, you can't climb that ladder, so salty. But anyway, this is one of the worst maps for getting your tank, LAV, whatever, stolen, because this set of MCONs especially too, because no one's gonna be able to sneak past the bridge. You're gonna swim through the water, that ain't gonna work out. You know? And, excuse me, SoFlam. Excuse me, SoFlam. You're interrupting. Okay, just to get this out of the way, Battlefield is my main game. But I am going to take advantage of having a PS3 and a PS4 soon for games like Grand Theft Auto 5 and, you know, yada yada yada. So, I will be mainly uploading Battlefield videos, but I've got some other videos in the works. And okay, so in my last video, I talked about Requiem for a Dream, and what I liked and didn't like about the movie. And I totally forgot to mention how Shooter McGavin is the Supp infomercial guy. So the actor's name is actually Christopher McDonald, but you know how you see an actor in a movie and you can't always quite remember the name, so you just refer to them as a character from a movie you're really familiar with. Best example I can think of is how people refer to Steve Buscemi as the weird guy, like from Fargo. And my LAV is about to blow up and I don't have an engineer kit, so I'm like, screw it, gotta go on that MCOM and try to just blow up my LAV so the other team doesn't get it. Okay, as I was saying about actors, for me, Gary Sinise is always a name I always seem to forget Gary Sinise's name when I'm watching a movie and he's in it. And he's in so many things, like Apollo 13 and Of Mice and Men. And this guy, throwing up my spawn beacon. And you know how when you're trying to snipe somebody and you miss that first shot and then they start vaulting over stuff and you just can't quite seem to get them and oh, come on! So I take out Baby Greens and ugh. Come on, man. Come on. I'm gonna get you. And I'm gonna get you too. 48 shots. Started out terribly, but I got the last 4 shots. It's back to the actor thing. Personally, I refer to Christopher Lloyd as Doc Brown when I'm talking about other movies he's in. Like, hey, Doc Brown was the Klingon leader in Search for Spock, or Doc Brown as Professor Plum in Clue. Oh shit, was it Doc Brown with the lead pipe in the study? You know, things like that. And good thing we've got IMDb and Wikipedia on our side, because otherwise I'd just be always referring to actors as some character in another movie, and people be looking at me like, well, I haven't seen that movie, I don't know what you're talking about. But even though I never forget Christopher Lloyd's name anymore, I just love referring to him as that character. People usually know who you're talking about because they've seen Back to the Future. I mean, who hasn't seen Back to the Future? And it usually puts a pretty funny image in their head, like, Doc Brown is a Klingon. Okay. Oh, let's hold our breath. Alright. Gotta flank around and put that spawn beacon down for Alpha. And here I take advantage of having a suppressed sidearm, because they ain't gonna know you were there. And you know, obviously the best sidearms are the Magnum and the Rex. And the best thing to run for recon is probably a suppressed G18, but I feel like too much of a catfish running that sidearm, and I already have the dog tag for it. So I try to go in for Alpha, and no, White Mist gets me, and he's just sucks that I didn't get him because he's running in for that revive train. And he totally should have named himself White Chocolate Rain or White Chocolate Mist, because that would be so much better. And with that, it's time for the beer of the day. And it's only 3 o'clock here where I am. but it's, you know, it's bro time somewhere, right? And Pumpkick is a fall seasonal ale brewed with pumpkin juice, cranberry juice, and spices. It's by New Belgium Brewing Company out of Fort Collins, Colorado. It's got 6% ABV. You know, a little bit above average for an ale. It's not that strong. And getting swamped on, Isaac. Excuse me. And the cranberry takes a little bit away from the pumpkin, so it's one of those very, 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 very extremely rare that I would ever suggest drinking a beer straight out of the bottle instead of pouring it. But you just lose the smell of the pumpkin when you pour it into a glass. You only retain a little bit of the smell, and the smell is a really important part of beer for me when you drink it out of the bottle. And if you're not a fan of pumpkin, like the strength of it, this is a good beer. It gets a 79 on beeradvocate.com, and I'm going to put a link down in the description for Beer Advocate. It's probably the best website for like beer reviews. People post reviews with like the smell of the beer, the pour, the taste, everything about it. And I think that it's time for a read the description of the beer. What's that bite of tartness doing in pumpkin beer? Adding the unexpected kick of cranberry juice to brighten this traditionally spiced seasonal ale. Pumpkick is brewed with plenty of pumpkin juice, cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice. But it's the cranberries and the touch of lemongrass that send your taste buds sailing. And it's probably the lemongrass, for me anyway. The lemongrass that kind of takes away from the flavor of pumpkin. And I would suggest for a pumpkin beer, if you're a big fan of pumpkin beers, check out Pumpkick. That's if you can get it in your area. It's a beer from Southern Tier Brewing Company out of New York. And that's probably one of the best ones. It's probably one of the highest rated ones. And right here is hard mode. I get revived out of bounds, and oh, headshot, you going down. So I'm in hard mode, and I just can't see anything. And I just push up because I don't give a crap if I die. I don't want to be in hard mode anymore. And it's not like I'm prepared to turn up my contrast whenever this rare thing happens. Like, how often does this ever happen to somebody, especially after they patched it? But maybe I'm just not pro enough. Okay, so I mentioned putting up videos of other games. I'm working on letter scraps, UFO parts, unique jumps, under the bridge locations for Grand Theft Auto 5. But other things I plan on doing in the near future, just a plan, I mean, it could totally change obviously, are The Last of Us when the DLC drops, maybe Beyond Two Souls, Dark Souls 2 beta if I can get in it, and maybe Rocksmith 2. Obviously my focus is Battlefield 4 because it's right around the corner, but these are just some ideas. And if it's not totally obvious, I'm keeping my PS3 because there's just too many games. I mean, Dark Souls 2 comes out March 14th. So I'm gonna keep my PS3. And it's just so dark in this building, I can't see anything, but we get the MCOM thankfully, because otherwise I would just let myself die, or suicide or something. So I go 14-2, which, you know, whatever. I made a decent rush for the MCOMs, but I think I'm gonna give the bolt action, excuse me, Ballin Skope Recon another go. And for the post-game clip today, I've got Rush on Karg Island, just to show you how salty you can be with the crossbow. And I've mentioned several times before about how I'm a huge advocate of kit switching for equipment, like for throwing down spawn beacons, yada yada yada. But it's just so hilarious when you're playing something like Team Deathmatch, where there's no vehicles, and you pick up some Recon's kit, and what's he got? SoFlam. I mean, I guess he's just taking some selfies of his ball and sniping. Check out my ball and snipe. Snipe. Alright, so I talk about movies that I watched recently on the videos and what I think of them. And if you guys have got any suggestions, go ahead and leave a comment. I'll try to watch that movie and talk about it in the next video. And if I've already seen that movie that you suggested, I'll try to mention my thoughts about it in the next video. And same goes for the beer of the day. Of course, I'm limited to what I can get in my area, but I'll see what I can do. And on that note, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and stay frosty.